Hello guys, it is that panda again. I'm here again with another video, and today we have a 30-minute video of Dark Seal. And I was contemplating splitting this into two videos, but instead of that, I'll do it into one long-winded, boring video. So I do hope you guys enjoy, and let's hop right into it. So to start off, we were 2v1ing against Region 3 and Region 16, and basically I want to mention that we started this Dark Seal out, and we were trying to do the zero trick, where you stop at red, you walk away, boom, you hit the base again, but it wasn't working, and I wasn't sure what was happening, if everybody was just online and shielding. But apparently they fixed it to where if your wall hits red and you try to walk away, it shields them. And I actually had a similar instance where a base hit yellow and I walked away and it shielded it. And it doesn't do that every time. I think it depends maybe on like how many injuries you have, etc., etc. I don't know exactly how the whole ratio works or anything, but it is pretty interesting how they do the shield method. They do the little shielding and stuff. So yeah. So I will get swarmed a lot in this video. I'll have a lot of swarming clips. I have a lot of footage sped up because I had 2 to 3, I think almost 3 hours of footage, literally. And I sped up so much of the footage. The only stuff that isn't sped up is going to be the reports. And guys, I'm sorry if this seems like a long video. I think some people will enjoy it though. And if you do enjoy it, I'm glad that you enjoy these videos, because this is exactly why I make these videos. It's fun for me. I don't mind doing them. The editing is a little bit annoying sometimes, but you guys just show a lot of support, and I really do appreciate you guys. But basically, I was coming in here, I was baiting a bit, trying to get hit, and I will be honest, I made a mistake earlier out, and you'll see that in some of the reports, but I wasn't shielding when my wall went fully down. I let myself go down all the way to burn, and I should have been shielding when my wall was basically hitting red or low red. I shouldn't have been going until I burn, because at that point the trades become so bad, and I have people trying to fill my base when I basically had no troops home. So it'd be like a full swarm versus maybe 500k troops in my base, and then I traded vastly worse. In this situation I think I traded pretty nice because he couldn't get my wall down. But I also had an instance where I was getting double swarmed by whales. This is the one thing in Dark Seal. I'll say I traded, I think, positive or even, but I still didn't trade as good as I should have or I could have. But I took the swarm way too long. I wasn't, the thing is, I just wasn't being considerate of just how bad I might have been trading there, and I really shouldn't have tried to tank it to red. Even though there was like the injure ratio thing that's changed for a Dark Seal, I was trying to test stuff out, and I found out that even then I was just being stupid. I really should have just shielded when I got too low, especially like I said, if I had like 0 troops in my base and I had 2 people reinforce me with like 500k troops, those guys are going to be getting slaughtered in my base and feeding a lot of kills, a lot of injuries, and it just wasn't right. So I had to start doing better, and I did actually start doing better after like 2 or 3 swarms. And like I was mentioning, they had 2 whales. I think it was like Envy and Whiskey swarming together at times. And it made it really hard for me to trade positive, because it's like one person swarming, or maybe like one person like Envy, and then a weaker person, a weaker tier 6 player with like bad gear or can't run 50% expansions. I'll generally trade better on my defenses against them, like vastly better. But if it's against, 2 mega whales trying to swarm my base down, I melt too fast, my wall drops too fast, and it makes it really hard for me to trade good for very long. So I really have to be conscious of that. And I feel like I maybe should have just hid my troops once if I was in Battle Fury and I hit a certain level. And I should have just hid the troops, sent everybody's troops back, but that wasn't what I did. And I actually did send troops back in one instance where they were trying to fill me, and my base was basically dead, So you guys will see all in this video. It was a pretty good Dark Seal, honestly. Like, I always expect that it's not going to be as eventful as it was, but it ends up becoming a bit eventful. And I have to appreciate Envy and such for making it like that, because if it wasn't for, madmen like this, it wouldn't be as eventful as it was, right? Because obviously these people wouldn't be as willing to swarm your base or something. And I do want to mention that that Panda Guy account was the account I was aiming for top 15 on TC this time around, because I'd need those heroes. And TC in region 4 is no joke. Like, the freaking TCs here, are impossible to win. I needed like I think 120 million points for 15th place, and I barely had gotten it. Thankfully, so I was able to still manage to get Eddie, and I try to do TC on my only my main 3 accounts. Otherwise, the rest of my accounts suffer, and I do it on my main accounts just because they're the ones that I'm fighting a lot with. I'm fighting on the field, and I feel like I'm contributing a good bit and enough to actually earn my spots on top commander and stuff. But yeah, it was really hard. I was pushing for top commander. I gotta thank Envy for swarming me, or it would have been a freaking rough one for me to push for. I do want to mention that the Panda Guy account that you're going to see getting swarmed, the one big issue I have with it is it's a really low troop count. You know, even though it's like 115 million might, I think it only has like 1.3, 1.4 million troops. And when you consider swarms from like big whales like these, that is not enough to actually take positive trades or take positive trades for long, so I can't get swarmed for long. That's why I come around running around with full reinforcements, and I tend to have my alts actually reinforcing my base so I can have over 2 million troops, as well as even on my other accounts. I find it just better to have full reinforcements, and it makes the trades vastly better, you know, because obviously if you have 3 million troops in your base, you're going to be trading worse than somebody who has 4 million troops in their base, because you know you have that troop size advantage. And if you're able to just, you know, I feel like my troops are going to be trading better just because I have reinforcements, making the reinforcements also trading better, obviously, because I have troops, you know. So it's like an endless cycle of, you know, give and take. All right, and this is some base hitting. I would have probably done it on Panda Guy, but I was running low on gyms, and I'll be porting a lot in this event, but it's freaking draining, and I spend so many freaking gems on dark relocators because I'm kill hungry. I'm trying to bait, you know, I'm trying to zero people, and I think I teleport too much, and then later in the event I always run out of gems, and I'm like, damn, like how did I just run through all of my freaking dark relocators already? I'm freaking bad at that, and you know what? It's something I gotta get better at, but I can't say I regret it. Also, that was RPG invading our region. If you guys didn't see the swarm, LeBron gets rallied, triple rallied at times. Also, I'm pretty sure those 100 million accounts that usually travel around with LeBron are their alternate accounts. So our swarms probably weren't really mattering much to him. If anything, he was probably like, yes, Boone, feed me your kills, give me your troops. Because, you know, I swear those are his alts, at least from what I know from all my past knowledge, though I might just be an ignorant fool as well. This is one of those instances I was telling you guys a bit about, though, where I had 10 marches swarming down on my base, you know, all obviously with 50% expansions, meaning that's over 300,000 tier 6 troops in each of those marches. And of course, it's led by a whale with insane gear. So obviously, trading here it's good. You know, I can trade even maybe like halfway and a little bit under halfway through the battle. You know, when my bar hits about red, that's when I'm going to be trading pretty bad. And you're going to see it in these reports. Like, I really did a poor job, and I really should have been doing better, man. I don't know why I didn't shield earlier. And I didn't have Battle Fury in this instance. I will have it in my next swarm, I think, where I actually pop my shield intentionally and I'm trying to bait, but yikes, man. I really shouldn't have run it down until I burnt. That was such a freaking big mistake. Although like I said, I still think I traded good here. I think you know, I have to freaking live and learn to learn these mistakes. And you see it here. I start trading worse. You know, the first reports were pretty good because those reports were me actually trading kind of in the beginning, and they started recalling their marches. They sent new marches, and these are why you're going to see these other reports looking vastly worse. And then you also got to consider the fact when I start to get low, like let's say I'm at 500k troops of my own, someone sends me 200k troops in my base, I'm already low on troops, so those troops coming in my base are going to be trading really bad, and it's only going to make the reports look even worse. You know, I feel like as reinforcements, you got to consider that. You know, when you see someone so low, I'd wait to port in. You know, I stopped porting my accounts in when I saw my bases were already like so and so low, because I didn't want to actually make them suffer more, trying to keep myself from burning, because there's no point, right? Like, I don't care if I burn. I just want to get some good kills, get some good trades. Because, I feel like for the average player, trades matter more. Maybe not for whales. It's the same with the field, right? Like you have mega whales who are more willing to run on the field and go crazy. But I feel like I have to, I have to be in that numbers game. I have to make sure that I'm trading pretty well. If I don't see the numbers kind of favorable for me, I don't really want to be there. And also, this is tree getting swarmed here. This is a much bigger account. So, tanking it like this, even if it goes down to red, it's definitely going to be trading better just because it has vastly more troops and better equipment overall. Its gear is just overall better. And you see right here, I port fire harden, I reinforced, and honestly, it's already at red. The trades have become negative, it looks like, or close to negative. There's no reason for me to continue reinforcing. This is when you just honestly pop that shield. That's when you pop that shield. And now this is Voodoo. So Voodoo actually messaged me and he was like, yo, should I just run it till I'm red? And I should have just said no, shield halfway, but I didn't say anything. I didn't see it. I don't think he actually has Peterson, which is unfortunate, meaning that he can't really tank this as long as I could have, just because, hero gap right there. But, I think Voodoo did all right. Honestly, getting swarmed is one of the best feelings ever. So it's good being at this size and still being swarmable, although still somewhat scary because now you're like, if you feel invincible and you're like, okay, well, I'm 150 million now. Who's going to kill me? And then you see like Envy and a bunch of freaking mega whales poured around you and you're like sweating. You're like, oh, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's one of those feelings. Though I do like having reinforcements filling my base while I'm wandering the map. Makes me feel a little bit adventurous. I mean, if this was Island Raid, I definitely wouldn't be this adventurous. I wouldn't be willing to get Battle Fury with even an empty hospital, right? Like I was willing to get Battle Fury on almost a full hospital of I think 600k troops out of 800k, and I was willing to take a swarm with that because I knew that they couldn't fill my hospital unless it was like a rally 1v1ing my base and keeping my wall self-healing for so long. It just wouldn't have been possible for them to really do much, and that's what you're gonna see. I'm just playing risky because in Dark Seal, like I said, I've said this multiple times, but the ratio on how the heavily wounded to lightly wounded is changed so drastically that it's so easy to actually take these swarms. Like I can take these swarms and I'll only get like 100k in my hospital, and it's so good, and even reinforcements are trading really well because I mean they don't care about the deads they get, and you'll actually see me here. I think I send the troops back. Yeah, I send them back because they were just filling an empty base. But like I was saying, I'm way more willing to take swarms, and I feel like people are way more willing to die because obviously trades are vastly better, and these are some of the best T6 kills like T4 or tier 5 player could get. Obviously they can't be going on the field, maybe in towers, but you can't always expect people to just tower swarm. Overall, who doesn't want some tier 6 kills? It makes their stats look good. It just feels good to have them, and it's just the feeling, and you see here, by the way, I traded bad on a lot of these reports because I ran it to red, and then you also had those people reinforcing me at the end, and I had to send those troops home because I didn't want them to keep that up. Here is when I learned from my mistake finally, and I shield halfway, and I think the reports are going to be better. It would have been better if I only was getting one player swarmed. When they're coming in groups like this, it makes it kind of hard to really trade that well because you just melt too fast. And you can't really drag the battle line as long as you would like. It's unfortunate, but it is the reality. And you see me there. I shielded way earlier, and I don't think there's gonna be many I trade bad on. Yeah, that one report was disgusting. Yeah, you see right here. Like I think there was only one report that I traded negative on in here. 2. Okay, that's 2. And that's 3. But honestly, that wasn't that bad. I traded pretty good on most of those. Okay, this was Voodoo getting hit. I think that he did all right. Honestly, I expected worse from this guy, but I guess he is pretty chunky as well, and he was getting reinforcements. He did have some bad traits there, though. I think that's because he also ran it to red. This is exactly why you got to be careful, with like Battle Fury and stuff. I feel like I really should have sent my troops out the second I hit red or something. Let myself self-burn. I should have sent all the troops out of my freaking garrison area And I don't know, man. Like that's something that you have to learn from. Also, we triple rallied LeBron. We spread into Cozy, PLW, and Boone, and we were filling these rallies. And I do want to note something that we were struggling to actually keep some of these rallies full. It's really hard to go into all these alliances and keep all these rallies full, especially like a range rally like this. And we just didn't have the numbers on at the time. And I also want to note that I don't think that we traded good. And even if we traded good, I don't think it was worth it. Like, I know that some people just have balls of steel, but I feel like I'm more of a fighter who fights if stuff is worth it. You know, LeBron obviously is able to keep clearing his hospital. You see him constantly drop his shield in that case, and he just keeps clearing his hospital, and he keeps taking these rallies because he knows that he's going to be getting really good trades. He knows that he can just keep clearing his hospital. He's not getting deads, and he's just feeding off our troops. We do 2 triple rallies, I think, and we couldn't even keep one of the rallies full. You know, it was like 500k troops at times and stuff, and obviously that rally can be trading really bad. Overall, I feel like we were feeding more, and that's why you got to be careful about who you're rallying. You know, I feel like if you're gonna be triple rallying, at least do it to someone like 150 million. I don't know, man. I don't even think we were trading positive. And you know, obviously the injury ratio is way better for a defender, so it's even worse to rally during this event. You know, I hope I'm keeping you guys entertained. By the way, this is like 16 minutes in, still a bit longer. You know, a bit longer, aka half the video. I've been just talking and talking. I'm really trying my best to keep you guys engaged, you know, give you guys the entertainment. I might have been better off spreading this into 2 videos, but I didn't want to make it too lengthy. I didn't think it was worth it. And, you know, I thought you guys might just want to watch big one long one. Although, tell me if you guys prefer this or if you guys prefer me just splitting it into videos, because I feel like it's easier, and it also just I can do better storytelling, because when I'm doing a fresh video, it's easier to do like 2 10-minute videos over 1 20-minute video commentary wise. Because, you know, I don't really like the whole music thing. I feel like when I used to listen to videos that had just music and then the PvPing, it kept me way less engaged, and it just wasn't as entertaining to me. And not only do I like to, you know, just be entertaining with these videos, I do think that I help a fair few people, you know, with information, because in a lot of these videos I do just spit out a lot of information that can, you know, help you guys with your overall gameplay, be it how you fight or just, you know, I don't know. I think you guys get the point though. And why I like to do these videos, I've never really enjoyed, I mean, I don't mind watching PvP videos with, you know, music or something, but it just never was my forte. So I wouldn't really put you guys through something that I wouldn't want to watch. You know, I don't know, man. I'm just talking too much, but it's just how I feel, and I feel like these are probably more fun for you guys, you know. And here's me milking some kills. We had a few bases around the map that I think were either just dead or AFKing throughout the event. And, you know, you'd have to come back every 8 hours, because obviously now you can't do the zeroing trick. So you basically have to run it till it's 0, and then you come back in 8 hours when that 8-hour shield pops, and then you zero the base again and try to, you know, fill up the hospital even more, which kind of is a waste of ports, unfortunately. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do for those kill points. And, you know, shoot, I like getting kills. You know, it makes my stats good, it bloats my ego a bit, and then it just makes me feel like a freaking big man, like a big fighter out here. And you got to do what you got to do. Okay, yeah, I think it's just some zero bases. You know, I quite like getting hit over hitting people, just because I rather injure my troops over kill them off. But at least Dark Seal has an 85% return rate. You know, let me talk about something that I think about, right? So I've heard a lot of people complain about Dark Seal, and man, this event sucks, blah blah blah, right? And the thing is, I can understand all the arguments, but I feel like Dark Seal is honestly more healthy than not in some situations, right? Because I feel a lot of people used to complain all the time that the game was boring and, you know, all this type of stuff. And, you know, now that people have these events, they're mad about the events. And, you know, I do think in a way that Dark Seal is a bit overwhelming. There's a bit too much with it. Though I also think, you know, in another sense, well, it's kind of fair. or it's kind of good. At least we have a way to finally do something for kill event and top commander and stuff over just 1v1ing with people all the time and all this stuff, right? So I feel like it's better like that. And then you also got to consider, I've heard a lot of arguments like this. Oh, we got 2v1, this is so annoying, there should be another region in here. It should be a 2v2, or, there should be at least 4 regions. And, fair argument, but I feel like both sides in a way win in most cases, because I feel like when you get 2v1, if your region is able to actually defend themselves and they are able to stand up to an extent, right? I feel like your region is generally going to be the one that outpoints the other regions. You get more points than the other region. And I don't think that Metro is that important. I don't think it's important to the extent of you getting mad that you lost it for 2 days. I think maybe the rewards are better that you get in these events. Obviously the region that gets 2v1 is generally going to be the region that scores the most points. Your player might get first place because y'all got 2v1, and the regions that are 2v1ing you have to split those points. They have to compete for the points. They have to fight over your players together, and those points that they're fighting for, you're getting the full value out of both those regions. So if they both get 500,000 points and you get 1.1 million, right? Obviously you're going to be trading better between the two. Even if you get 1 million, you're going to be overall getting the majority of the points because you're the focal point. And then there's also the fact that those two regions decided they wanted to 2v1. Maybe they're feeling a sense of superiority, suppressing your region or being able to gank up on you. And I feel like both sides in a sense win in this case. I feel like Dark Seal is honestly better than people make it out to be, and I feel like that's honestly one big W that you get from the event. The overall fact that both sides in a sense are winning. And I don't know, man. I don't know, that is just my take on the whole situation. I don't mind Dark Seal. I think I personally do better in Top Commander with it now, and it's not like I have to it's just way better, right? And it does give me something to do. It gives me a way to kill some of my troops. So I think for like maybe newer regions, you should maybe restrict how soon you have this event accessible and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I guess some of these events maybe feel rushed. And when you consider the amount of resources and stuff you might be burning on Dark Seal every 2 weeks and then Island Raid every month, meaning that you're basically having an event every 2 weeks, it's just really hard, even for older regions, the amount of resources you might use field fighting. And even if we try to avoid field fighting, we still have a lot of situations where we kind of feel inclined, or we just push the field because, these guys are on the field, we got to push the field. And boom, now we're burning through hundreds of millions of resources that we would have preferred not to burn through. And here is us taking Metro, by the way. We had to get the swarm down, because if we didn't swarm, I feel like this Metro rally would have taken way too long. We do end up returning this Metro to RPG because, well, I don't know. We just thought it was the right thing to do, So we returned it to RPG. Oh yeah, now Hera gets rallied, so I have something to say about this. Hera got rallied, and I feel like she was being really weird to me, right? So basically her hospital fills, and I thought that her hospital filled, but she was online. She was doing, a little trick to bait people in the AoE, sending her Tom out. And the fact that she was online talking in chat, I assumed that maybe I was just tripping and her hospital didn't actually fill. Her hospital had filled for quite a while because she had 600,000 dead. You know what her explanation was? She said that she wanted to kill off her siege units. And she was like, well, I only lost 100k or, 90k permanent units. But it's also like, why would you, like, why? Why? If you're taking a rally, I don't care if you're a big whale or something. I don't understand the point. I don't understand the point, right? I just don't understand the point of, okay, well, I am willing to, lose these troops because I want to kill off some siege. You end up killing off like 100k of your infantry, 100k of your range, 100k of your riders, and 100k of your siege, for example. Like, it doesn't make it better because you wanted to kill off your engines and stuff. Just send your engines to swarm a base or something, right? Like, that's how I feel about it. I don't know if I'm being too sensitive about the topic. It just felt weird to me that you're gonna give up a bunch of your troops. And even if you wanted to kill off your engines and that's why you were willing to have 600,000 dead or whatever, it's like, I don't get the whole argument about that. I just didn't get it at all. I mean, obviously you were trading positive, and I feel like you should just shield after, you start getting deads or your hospital fills, because there's no point to get the deads. I mean, it's 100k T6 still, you're basically losing permanently. At least swarm bases with the engines if you really want them dead. You're basically throwing away your cattle troop for free kill, for kills, right? Like if you want to lose, because I think they have like 1 million engines or whatever, which is insane to me. 1 million T6 engines. I was just like, why don't you swarm bases with that? Throw away those troops. You're basically losing your useless unit to get a bunch of kills, right? And that's perfect. But you get like 600k troops dead defending, and it's kind of crazy to me. Also, you see these marches come around the base. This was in an attempt to stop the AoE, and I don't know why, but they actually swapped to Peterson Bella, probably because they knew that these marches were coming around to stop the Lewis AoE. But I don't know why Bella. It was a little confusing to me. Maybe there's something I'm missing, that Bella has some hidden potential, but we're going to see the report right here. So a lot of these deads are actually reinforcements. I think like 300 to 400,000. And then you have obviously the attacking units losing 3.4 million troops. Insane. And you see here, that was insane. That was an insane amount of deaths on Hero's part. You can pause that if you want, but that was like 130k infantry, 160k range, and then like, some riders. Then you had engines. Like even if you wanted to kill off your engines, it's like saying, okay, zero me so I can kill my engine troops, right? Like you have 1 million infantry, 1 million riders, 1 million range, 1 million freaking engines, and then you get zeroed. And obviously you're going to be losing engine troops, but you're losing all these other units. I just, I was, that kind of frustrated me. I'm sorry I just blabbered about that. That was one of the weirdest things I've heard though in like a while, and it made me a little frustrated. Also, you're gonna see a shield pop here, by the way, and then you see the shield pop, and I actually port tree, right? I port tree over like a few steps, and I was willing to take another swarm on this because I had, I think, 300k room in my hospital, like 200 to 300,000, and I actually wanted to fill my hospital before the end of the event because of the Crisis 8 event, and it was the perfect time to get kills because basically after Crisis 8, if I have 800k troops in my hospital, I use the Crisis 8 event. Boom, that gets rid of, I think, like 500k of the troops in my hospital, which is so perfect, meaning I have very minimal troops to heal. So you're going to see here in a minute, but they actually try to anchor me down, which I wasn't really planning to port. That's why I ported in the first place, so close, but they try to anchor me down, and they start hitting my base. Like they start soloing to keep it, and they drop AoE attacks. I don't actually have it in the recording, but they were anchoring me and they were tapping my base, and they had it, they had the skill damage going off and hitting all the friendlies around them. So I was really confused what they were doing. And I mean, I get what they were doing, but it was kind of poorly done, honestly. And yeah, they run it to red here. The hospital didn't fill, thankfully. It was kind of close though. And the reports here are a bit yummy. The rally did trade bad, obviously. I don't think it would have traded positive anyways if it just 1v1 the base, or it would have been kind of a close trade, just because at this point I didn't have a lot of troops left. Or I had like 2 million, but the hospital was obviously nearly full. I think the only thing I was worried about is if they sent a rally and they decided to let the rally 1v1 my base for, let's say 5 minutes, right? I had Battle Fury for maybe 7 more minutes since when they started hitting me. Let's say they let the rally 1v1 me for 5 minutes and I had Peterson healing my troops. Well, that thing would kind of slowly fill my hospital, and my wall wouldn't dramatically drop. So when they started swarming, they could have maybe filled my hospital a bit and given me some deads, and I think they could have done that better. I could have obviously sent my troops into nearby bases to reinforce them if I was like close to getting deads, but I just wanted to say that and say that, could have been better. It could have been done better to zero me. Either way, that's the end of the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope my commentary kept you guys entertained. I do appreciate you guys though for watching as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That is it to the video. Peace.